Hey y'all, what's up? So we're currently on a test drive here. My girlfriend here, we're gonna call her Sassy. We just got a 2011 Mercedes GLK 350. Has less than 100,000 miles on it, one owner. And a couple things were wrong with it when we got it. The windshield wipers weren't working properly. Like, they were moving, but the sprayers weren't working. The driver's side window wouldn't go up all the way. A couple other odds and ends. The cigarette lighter didn't work. Headlights were a little bit wonky, out of alignment, but everything was working properly. We paid under your standard price for one of these. I'm not going to say how much because that's our business, but it is a beautiful little SUV we got here. And after about 5 hours of labor on my end and really no parts and a little bit of cleanup, and I did a realignment on this window here. I'm not going to go on anything with the video on that. There's plenty of other people out there that have done it. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. However, I did show you a couple tricks in how to diagnose some of this stuff, and that's why you have to watch the video. I can tell you this: we've had this thing up to undisclosed speeds up on the highway. Everything's running great, and so we got yourself basically a brand new car for an under sticker price. If there's anything else, Sassy, you'd like to add, please feel free to.
Oh no, I'm happy.
She's happy, and you know what that means. The impossible happened. I please somebody. Just kidding. I make people happy all the time, or I try to. I believe that's it. Enjoy the video, and if there's anything I'm missing, put it in the comments, ask me questions, I'll answer anything I can. Been a while since I've worked on Mercedes, and I gotta say, it reminds me of why I quit working on BMWs. German stuff's fun to drive, not so much fun to work on. Steve Wilburn, over and out. In order to get to the windshield washer fluid reservoir, which is located behind this panel, you need to remove the wheel. There are 1, 2, 3 nuts, a 10 millimeter. Look like this. They're not very strong. There are 3 push style rivets that you can just undo with a very simple set of pliers and a screwdriver. Those are located here, here, and here. And then there's also 2 bodywork screws, 8 millimeter. Those are located there and there. Once you free those up, this entire panel wants to come out, and all you gotta do is just massage it out, and it will give you access to the washer pump. Okay, here is your pump itself. This is the front windshield washer line. This goes to the rear. While you have everything out, you can give everything a thorough inspection. To remove this, just pull it up. No matter how much you try to drain it, there will be washer fluid that comes out of here. It's just the nature of how Germans design things. And if you look here, you can see there's actually a bunch of crud buildup on the intake for this, which is probably why we got a low stream coming out that you saw in the beginning of the video. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean this up, put some new fluid in, give it a test, and see what we have going on. Now, a special note about these Mercedes is they have lockout switches, so if any chance you do try to turn these on with the hood open, it won't work. Took me about 20 minutes to figure that out, so I'll save you hopefully a little bit of time. All right, after a mild cleanser and some compressed air, this is what our screen looks like now. Hopefully this is gonna work. I'd say she's gonna work. As you can see, the back one started working too. It has not worked since the purchase, which was, all of a couple days ago. Okay, so cleaning this bad boy off worked. We just verified it, and when you go to put this together, I did miss where there's supposed to be a bolt here. There's not. It matches the same ones that go over on these ones, the black ones there. When you go to put these together, you have to pull this trim panel down in order to get this lined up with this. So besides that, it just plastic bends, bend it back into place, make sure that everything lines up underneath here, and I'll show you where all the screws go as well. Okay, for disassembly and reassembly of the interior panel here, you need to undo first this one, that one, that one, that one. You need to pop these 3 rivets out. I've got one out already. Here's 1, 2, third one goes right here. And on the underside, there's actually 2 you need to take off. This one's connected to the panel itself, and taking this one out gives this piece a little extra wiggle room, so that way you can actually maneuver this piece out, because it's not going to come out, just pop out easy. You have to finagle it a little bit. This particular nut was missing upon arrival. We will be replacing this at a later date, but where this is, it's not critical, but this one, that one, and that one definitely are, to keep things from rattling around. This is not going to make any noise, so we'll be fine. When tightening these down, the Torx don't have to be too tight. Just make sure they're a little bit past snug with your wrench. A lot of people recommend using power tools on this kind of stuff. I do not. For your pop rivets, once you have them in place, you can just pop them, slide them in with your thumb. And obviously, I'm using a small 1/4 inch snap-on ratchet because I don't want to break anything. Now remember, on these, it's kind of difficult to do without a stud locator unless you've been doing this forever. Make sure you always use a torque wrench and go in a crisscross pattern. On these, the spec for the wheels is 150 Newton meters, which for you non-metric speaking people is 110 foot-pounds. Luckily, if you have something like this here, snap-on digital tech angle wrench, it doesn't matter which spec comes up because you can use all of them. But if you're stuck with something that only has Newton meters or foot-pounds, so you got your specs here regardless. Okay, another complaint we had was that the cigar/cigarette lighter was not working properly. So if you're lucky enough, look in your rear compartment here. You'll have to take the floorboard out using this panel. But over in the side here, and where your toolkit is, you should have a GLK class fuse allocation manual. This, I was able to find that fuse number 71 is for the cigar lighter. Now you'll see a lot of people say that you have to take the fuse out to check power. That is not true. I'm going to show you. If you have a test light with a good known grounding point, if you go on the back of the blades here on any of your fuses, the tiny exposed spot, that as long as you hit it, it'll light up. So let's go to, I've already checked, this is fuse number 71 here. See how we have lights on one side but not on the other, but lights on this one. I believe this one is for one of the other 3 ports, because there are apparently 2 in the back and 1 in the glove box that are also made for power outlets. However, this one right here, as you can see, fuse is blown. So upon removal, as you can tell, the little piece inside there is bad. So we'll replace a new one, and 10-to-1 the cigarette lighter will work. And I'm going to use a car charger to verify. Okay, so I've got a new 15 amp fuse in there, getting ready to turn the key on, so a moment of truth here. And what do you know? It works. Turns out it was just a blown fuse after all, no more, no less. Now, everyone remember, just because you have a blown fuse doesn't necessarily mean that there's anything bad. If it keeps continually blowing fuses, well, there could be a problem with your system. But you have to remember, fuses are a wear item. I don't know how many times I had to explain this to when I was working for BMW and Ducati and all them, but sometimes things wear out quicker than others. Now, the reason something like this would wear out a little bit quicker is because if you're using something as high pulling as a cigarette lighter, it may not pop immediately, but we are working on a 13-year-old Mercedes. So 13 years of being heated up to the point of setting something on fire may backfire on you or may need to be replaced. Think about you trying to set something on fire for 13 years and see how you would feel.